And here we go.
This is Dads Watching Sports. It's the show by dads who watch sports, for dads who watch sports, or just dads in general. Here are the dads with a plan for every hashtag dad life and sports fan, Kyle Castles and Michael Draper.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is not D-Generation X. It is the Dads Watching Sports. Kyle Castles, Michael Draper, the ones and only, or is it the ones and only, twos and only, the two and only, the ones and only, and that is Kyle's cowbell. You can tell Kyle's excited. It is episode 71. We are on Monday night, Kyle, not Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I see your Mississippi State. Congratulations. We'll get to that in quite a bit. And I will give you an open mic to openly discuss your love affection for Mississippi State baseball and their national championship. But first off, congrats.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very, very happy for you and for all those that call themselves the Hail State Nation. I've got like half of a foot in that bucket. I'm predominantly in the big blue, but I do have a degree on the wall that says Mississippi State University, so I feel like I gotta have a little bit of stake there. But congratulations to the Hail State Nation. It is Monday, Kyle. We're coming in a day late following the 4th of July holiday. I texted you yesterday. I was like, hey, or maybe you texted me first and said, hey, my internet might be a little shoddy. And I said, hey, man, you know what? Seems like this is some divine intervention. We had some plans last night as well. Let's just take the evening off, and then here we are.
And here we sit. I mean, we're going head to head. This is the Monday Night Wars all over again. It's us.
Oh man,
Game 4 of the Stanley Cup.
That's right.
Monday Night Raw. I'm sure there's a baseball game on ESPN.
Monday Night Wars. Question is anybody going to get put through a table on our show?
Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if we were in the same place, I would be happy to put you through a table.
Oh, well, I don't know that I would ever get up from that. So my question was going to be, are we Raw or are we Nitro?
It depends. If this is, 96, 97, we're Nitro. If it's 98, 99, and forward, we're Raw because we're always going to win.
Raw is war. That's right. Absolutely. Well, we got a lot to get to on the show tonight, Kyle. One thing I'm excited about is we got the Elite Eight of our best. I tell you what, man, I think it's been good that we've kind of taken these regions of this best venue and sports bracket show at a time, but man, this thing is drug on. We are just now in the Elite Eight of our best sports venue bracket, and we're going to get that down to a Final Four. And then, Kyle, next week, do you know who we have booked for next week?
I'm sure you told me, but
so we have. He's a friend of the show. He's been on at least twice that I can think of in a guest appearance, and then also came on with us for our fan episode. Mark Gent is going to be joining us from Simply a Fan. You know, Mark's, he's got this whole business about getting people to venues and to go to their favorite teams. And so we thought it'd be good to get Mark on and help him help us pick a champion in our bracket. So I'm excited about that next week.
Oh, that would be good stuff. I don't know if I could argue with anything that Mark Gent says because I think he's been everywhere, unless he, of course, kicks out my Wrigley Field because I know it's moving on this week.
We'll see about that, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. We've got the Twitterverse that is helping us decide that, and Kyle, it is. I tweeted about 30 minutes ago that matchup between Madison Square Garden and Wrigley Field was at a dead heat, 50% apiece. And then I retweeted it. And so we'll see where it's moving. And so far, it has not moved a bit. So you've got about 20 minutes, folks, to get in your votes because we're split 50-50 on that. We'll see what happens between Madison Square Garden and Wrigley Field. But, Kyle, before we get to our bracket, a couple of things I wanted to go over with you. for the start of the show, first off, it is we're a day removed from July 4th, Independence Day, 4th of July, whatever you'd like to give it a call. And so I was thinking back through, what are kind of those top moments? They could be good moments, they could be bad moments, they could be scary moments, they could be sad moments, they could be happy moments. What are those moments that you've come across on July 4th? It's it's a national holiday, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's usually a big day to get on the grill or get on a body of water or something like that. So if you're thinking through your top July 4th moments, and that could just be what it was yesterday, or it could be what it's been all time.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite things you've done on July 4th?
Okay, so here's one, and I know our listeners love it when we talk about stuff that me and you have done outside of the show from way back. But do you remember? It may have been between your senior year of high school and freshman year of college, or freshman year of college and sophomore year of college, somewhere around that time.
In my college years, Kyle, there's not a whole lot of memory going on there. So I don't know that I do remember.
But we spent the 4th at my aunt and uncle's house. And my uncle had done some wings up on the grill, and we were in their pool. They lived over there. I'm going to throw an old name out. They lived like 2 houses down from Danielle Burrows. Do you remember spending that 4th with me, or no?
I feel bad, man. That didn't make it in my top moments of July 4th.
I got you. Honestly, that one just came to my mind.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I remember. It was good. We had wings. Yeah. I remember.
We had wings. Yeah. No, but that look, you know me. I'm a fat guy. I love the food. So food is always up there for me. I love the grilling out, the smoked meat, all that good stuff. Actually, this year my stepfather-in-law, I guess is the right way to say it, he did a beer can chicken and smoked a butt, and man, like my wife's stepfather, he's been smoking meat for quite a few years now. He's won some competitions and whatever.
Nice.
But that was the best butt he smoked. And I mean, Lauren and I both told him that. So Ronnie, if you're listening, heck of a job on that butt.
So your father-in-law's got a good butt. That's what you're saying.
Actually, I think what I told him last night was he had a very juicy butt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So food's always there. Just being around the family's good. I mean, we stayed here. We didn't go see my folks, but we stayed here, and it was the first time we had been around Lauren's family since Christmas. And even then we tried to social distance, like Christmas was done in the church and social distance there. So it was good to actually be back and everybody be there. So that was fun. I mean, probably one moment that I'll never forget from this 4th of July. So it may not be memorable yet, but give it a few years. So I'm not a big fireworks guy at all.
Guilty as charged as well.
But we went to the fireworks stand and we bought the kids some sparklers and, the little poppers, the little, what I'm talking about. You just throw them and they pop.
Yeah.
We bought some of those, and we knew we were going out to Lauren's dad's for fireworks, and there was going to be one other kid there with our 2 boys. And so we bought 3 of these little tank things that were supposed to spark up and maybe whistle or something. I don't remember. We get there, and the other boys' parents showed up with, I'm not kidding you, I get there, and they have stacked up their fireworks they're going to shoot, and the fireworks came up to my shoulder. Like,
nice.
I'm
nice
6'3", 6'4"-ish. So my shoulder's 6 foot, between 5'10" and 6 foot, probably tall. They got that many fireworks in those boxes, that had multiple shots, all that good stuff. It was
nice.
Insane.
They did some damage.
Speaking of damage,
nice.
This is
Here
where
we
it
go.
gets worse.
Nice.
So,
now we're talking.
And I did not put this here until this morning, or I would have said something last night. But what I realized this morning was the grass was wet. I don't know if it had rained through there or what, but the grass was a little wet, or just the dew, right? Whatever it is. And so the last thing they wanted to shoot off was sitting there on that wet grass. we got there at roughly 8:00. We were shooting the last one off at 10. It had been sitting on that wet grass for at least a couple hours. And so we shoot everything off. Everything goes off fine except, well, I forget. We had bought the boys this thing called the jumping fish or something, and me and the other dad, we screwed up because they had bought a jumping fish too. We're like, oh, we're gonna light these at the same time and have it be a little bit bigger. That wasn't smart because what we thought it was going to come out on one side and it came out on another, and we had those sides where it was shooting out pointed at each other. So we had a very nice little fire.
I was gonna say when you use the words fireworks and that wasn't very smart in the same sentence. Yeah, usually not a recipe for something good to happen.
But hey, you know what? It was okay. Like we had a little fire, pour a little water on it. Good, right? Well, then we get to this big, like they told me they spent an amount of money that I would never spend on fireworks. On this one box.
Remember stimulus check, huh?
Yeah. The dad told me that he was like, we just mortgaged the house to buy all this. I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
That makes sense.
Nice.
So remember, it's been sitting on this wet dew grass for a couple hours at least. We light it. It's got 50 some odd shots. We're probably, 20% into it. And it starts going everywhere. And the last shot that comes out of the box, it goes right over everybody's head watching straight at the house. And I'm like, oh, nice. I can't do anything because like it's a firework. I'm not running up to try and stop it. Luckily, that was the last one that went off. That box had become wet on the ground. And when we started shooting it off, the whole thing just exploded.
Nice.
The box exploded. Luckily, it broke the fuse when it came apart, and that saved everything else. But another dad was like, I can still see the fuse. We can fire the rest of these off. I was like, no, that's not a good idea. The whole thing is messed up now. We're going to just pour some water on this because we got live rounds basically here, and we're gonna pour water on this and just be done because that's a good place to end.
So you bring up something that I think is a good topic. Maybe we settle on for a second here, and it's the fireworks deal. You mentioned you're not just a huge fan. I would say I'm not a huge fan either, but like, and not that I don't appreciate people that like you said, take a second mortgage on their home to be able to put together this like great firework deal, but when you're our age, you got kids our age, and you think like, okay, it's all fun and great and whatever, but when they're also going into 10, 11 o'clock at night and you got kids that are trying to sleep, and it's like, man, why spend all this money for basically 45 minutes to an hour worth of entertainment that, I mean, it's going to be great, but I guarantee you in 3 months, somebody's going to come by and be like, hey man, that fireworks show, a good job. So yeah, I don't know if any of our listeners or any of our people checking us out on the live stream are fireworks fans big time. And if you are, and you've gone above and beyond in terms of purchasing a big round, let us know why you did it and what's going on with that. But it's just not my thing either.
No.
So in terms of mine, just kind of top 4th of July moments, I was thinking about this later today, just kind of driving around, and a couple things kind of jumped out. In 2014, this was in obviously July 4th. My wife and I, Suzanne, we had not yet been married. We were living in sin, and we were moving in. We were moving into our new apartment or a condo or whatever you want to call it in Washington State, moving from Nashville to Washington State. And as we drove Kyle across the country, we happened to be in South Dakota on July 4th, and we thought, you know what? We're in South Dakota. It's July 4th. Why not go to Mount Rushmore?
As you should.
July 4th. And we did. And unfortunately, the timing of our move didn't allow us to stay there for the fireworks, but we were there basically all day. It was kind of a cool thing. I mean, you see people, there were so many people there, obviously, on July 4th, but to be at a national monument like that, it was really cool. So that was one thing. Obviously in my top moments is that party at your uncle's house. I mean, that was fantastic. those wings, I still remember them to this day. It was fantastic. And then I actually didn't even, I knew this, and then I didn't remember this until I literally got a text from my uncle, probably 15 minutes before this show. And this is not really a great one, but it's just something that I'll forever remember. The day after July 4th, 31 years ago today, July 5th, 1990, my granddad, was my dad's dad, was a farmer, former Air Force pilot, kind of larger than life guy. He was there at their farm by himself, and my grandmother, my aunt and uncle, and my brother and I were driving from Mississippi to Kentucky to go stay at their house for a week. And my grandfather, we got to their house, we couldn't find him anywhere. And we're looking all around, and they have a huge property. We were checking in the house. We checked in one barn. We walking all over the property, and we got to the other barn, and I walked in the barn, and there my grandfather was laying on the ground. And he was a hay farmer, tobacco farmer and hay farmer. And he had been up on a hay bale about 40 feet in the air, 40, 50 feet in the air, and got overheated and passed out and fell. Broke his neck and was paralyzed for the rest of his life. But I was 5 years old, and I was the one that found him. And I remember it as plain to this day, 31 years later, what that happened. So
my goodness,
not a fun memory, but definitely one that it stands out. And again, I didn't even dawn on me that today was 31 years until my uncle texted me a little while ago. But anyways, yeah, it's I'm glad you guys had a good holiday, and we're back at it here on the show. Before we get to break, Kyle, I texted you about this over the weekend that I was excited because I got a new follower on Peloton over the course of the week.
Did you?
I did, and I even sent that person a picture, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm excited! I got a new follower." So Mr. Castles is on the Peloton, and it led me to think, Kyle, what kind of challenge can we set up here? Maybe a little friendly challenge between the two of us.
So I'm not actually riding the bike. I'm doing strength classes, yoga classes,
nice.
Those kind of things. Just trying to get some weight off.
Favorite instructor? You have a favorite instructor on Peloton?
Probably a guy named Adrian Williams.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
I've taken a few of his classes. I like him. I don't think he's a bike instructor, but he does some strength classes, and I tend to like him. There are a couple female instructors so Lauren put me onto this group on Facebook called Hardcore on the Floor, which sounds a lot dirtier than it really is.
Oh, hey now, I was gonna say I'm in a group called Buns of Anarchy, and I thought that was a little risque, but Hardcore on the Floor.
Hardcore on the Floor. And basically there is a I don't know, like some kind of exercise science major type person, whatever you want to call them, that has gone through and put together a month, and each month it's different, but a month's worth of classes where you spend about 40 minutes a day doing, some sort of class, whether it be yoga or a core class or arms or legs. Like today, it's a 20-minute glutes, 10-minute glutes and hams, and a 10-minute core.
Nice.
And so for probably a few weeks now, I've been doing it. I just started this past week, doing it on my little profile or whatever on Peloton.
Yeah.
Which is why I now follow you on
That's
Peloton.
Right. I'm excited. You're one of my 3 followers.
Look, and you didn't tell them, but you sent me that, and my response was only because I love you.
That's right.
But yeah, so I'm doing what I can. I feel awful about myself and great about myself simultaneously. I feel great because I'm actually doing something. I feel awful because, like, oh my God, I don't feel like I'm doing that much, and it's awful. It's killing me. Thinking back to what I used to do more than a decade ago, 12, 13 years ago, versus what I can do now. I have fallen way back. And so,
well, with some wise words, I will tell you that the whole exercise and getting in shape, and this is coming from someone who is also not in shape, but it's more of a crock pot as opposed to a microwave, Kyle. It's the long cook, man. It's the long cook. Unfortunately, losing it is the microwave. You take a couple of days off and it's all gone. It's the Insta heat.
I saw I wish it was an Instapot. Like, it was not quite a microwave, but whatever. I actually saw a guy on Facebook who had I think it was a butt. It may have been something else, but I think it was a butt that he had it on the smoker for 25 minutes. Or not 25 hours. I'm sorry, 25 hours worth of a smoke on this thing. I don't know how low he was cooking it, but a 25-hour smoke, that's a long time to be working a grill. And I feel like that's what I got to do is I'm a 25-hour smoke to get in shape.
There you go. Yeah, but man, that first bite into it after that 25-hour smoke, boy, the juice is worth the squeeze. All right, Kyle. Well, let's go to break, and we're going to switch up things a little bit here, and we're going to get into our bracket right off the bat. And Kyle, I can tell you as of right now that the voting on Twitter has closed. And Kyle, we have a winner in our Madison Square Garden Wrigley Field Twitter vote. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we will get into the best venue in sports bracket. It's the Elite Eight. We're picking a Final Four with the help of the Twitterverse right next, coming up on Dad's Watching Sports. Big news in the Dad's Watching Sports podcasting world. You've heard us mention it on the show already. We are now part of the Off the Ball Podcast Network. We're super excited to be joining the team of great shows, hopefully adding a little dad flavor to the mix. You can check out Off the Ball Podcast and Off the Ball Network on all your social media sites. Just search Off the Ball Network. And while you're there, give them a like and a follow. You won't regret it. Welcome back to Dad's Watching Sports. Kyle Castles, Michael Draper. We are powered by MyBookie. He got the book, she got the book, we got the book. MyBookie and me. That's right. That is right, Kyle. Kyle, you had Papa John's pizza in a while?
Within the last month, yes.
Okay. You like the little garlic sauce?
I do, but my wife tends to use it. I'm okay without it.
We had Papa John's for dinner tonight. We were like, for whatever reason, after a crazy busy weekend, we were like, hey, let's take the kids to the pool after we got home.
That makes sense.
And then, it does make sense, complete sense. And then we were like, man, we don't feel like doing anything. Let's just order pizza. And I, right before we got through with that commercial break, took a swig of my Dr. Pepper over here and kind of burped a little and got a little garlicky taste in the back. It's kind of like, a little leftovers. But
I'll be honest, I would rather have the thin crust from Papa John's than the seasoning they give you. That's the good.
Yeah.
That's the
I don't know that I've ever had the Papa John's thin crust, but Papa John, if you're listening, I know you're a big fan of the show. I know you listen every single week. Go ahead and hit us up with a sponsorship, and we'll eat pizza on the show. I'm happy just to grab a slice right here and throw it in during the show and all that. We're good for that. We could even have the best venues in sports bracket presented by Papa John's.
We could.
The possibilities, Kyle, are endless. When it comes to us, we will take anyone's money, and we will say darn near anything on this show.
Look, if you will, for Manscaped, talk about having Trevor Lawrence's hairdo in your pants, you'll say anything.
That's right. That is right. Luckily, I don't think our employers listen to this show. All right, Kyle. So we are in the Elite Eight of the best venue in sports bracket. I talked about it in the first segment. This thing has drug on.
No, not turned on. We're just building anticipation. We're building suspense.
That's right. We are, as I think we're in at least week, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in like week 6 of doing this, maybe 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. I don't know, too much. Anyways, we're in the Elite Eight, and we got some good matchups here. And as I mentioned before the break, Twitter is helping us break those ties. So thank you to all those who voted on Twitter. And we appreciate you doing so as we're going to get into this. All right, Kyle, I tell you what, I'm going to give you the option, Kyle. We got 4 matchups. We've got Americana versus Augusta National, MSG versus Wrigley, St. Andrews, Rose Bowl, and Yankee Stadium, Caesars Palace. Where would you like to start the bracket?
Well, just because I don't want to see Wrigley leave us, we're going to save that one for the last.
Okay, very nice. I like it.
Let's go with the easy one. Let's go Augusta National and Americana.
Okay.
Not Americana, but Americana.
Americana and Augusta National. We've got the 3 seed versus the 4 seed in this matchup, Kyle. We'll toss it to Twitter first. And in this one, it was not even close. 82% of the vote goes to Maracana in this. I'm just kidding. It goes to Augusta National. And Augusta National, Kyle, are we just moving it on?
I am. Which tells me it is, but I'm assuming you are as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason that we cannot move Augusta National on. So they are our first representative into the Final Four, a 3 seed. Their road to the Final Four, Kyle. They started with Hinkle Fieldhouse in the first round, had a pretty easy matchup there. Then we had the battle of golf clubs, Augusta National versus Pebble Beach. Oh, there's that garlic sauce again. Pebble Beach, and Augusta National squeaked out one there by, I believe, a 2-1 victory, and then took out the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Sweet 16. And now Augusta National, by beating Maracana in a route in the regional final, is headed to the Final Four. All right, Kyle, let's skip across.
Let's have a little fun. I'm really curious. If Wembley's there instead of Maracana, is that a harder choice for you? If we don't see the 4-1 upset in the Sweet 16.
I'm going to say no because I don't know, man. There's just something about Augusta National.
I agree. I think I'd still go Augusta National, but I do think it would have been a harder choice for me.
Possibly. Well, you're still just going to argue British Bulldog and Bret Hart. So
that's true.
It's yeah. All right, let's go down to the next bracket. The number 1 seed, Yankee Stadium, Kyle, against Caesars Palace. They are the 14 seed.
Man, Cinderella of the tournament.
Yeah, so Caesars Palace, probably the biggest upset of the entire bracket so far. In the first round, knocked off the Boston Garden, which was huge. Then knocked off Anfield Stadium and then Maple Leaf Gardens in the Sweet 16. Yankee Stadium started off with just drubbing Soldier Field. It wasn't even close. They went into Death Valley and beat them like they stole something, and then they took down the Louisiana Superdome in the Sweet 16, Kyle. So we've got the 1 seed, the 14 seed. I'll toss it to you first for the first vote.
I'm a sucker for upsets and Cinderella stories and all that, but for every good Cinderella story, the clock strikes midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And the clock has struck midnight on our Cinderella Caesars Palace story. Yankee Stadium is Yankee Stadium, and I'm talking old Yankee Stadium. I'm talking where the greats played: Ruth, Gehrig,
Mantle.
Mantle. I mean, you can come forward. You can talk about Mariano Rivera and that crew, right?
Jeter, A-Rod.
Yeah. Give me Yankee Stadium.
All right, Kyle. So the Twitterverse has spoken on this one as well. I'll go ahead and give you Yankee Stadium wins this. If you had to guess the percentage, Yankee Stadium over Caesars Palace, what would you say?
$75-25.
You were close. It's 67-32.
So
Yankee Stadium. 2/3 of the vote comes in for Yankee Stadium. I would have voted Yankee Stadium as well, so it doesn't really matter what I was going to say. So Yankee Stadium in a matchup with Augusta National in the Final Four. My goodness, prepare yourselves. keep your children away. This one will be a tough one. All right, Kyle, let's move over to the other side of that bracket and let's go St. Andrews. They're the number 1 seed against the Rose Bowl, Kyle, which is the 3 seed. The Rose Bowl came in, maybe a little underrated, took out the Metrodome, then Roland Garros, and kind of what I would consider a big upset, Kyle, took out Fenway Park in the Sweet 16. St. Andrews is just, I mean, they're just like 1996 Kentucky. They steamrolled. Not even close. Even the Spectrum in the Sweet 16. I mean, it wasn't even close. They won by 20 points. So we got St. Andrews and the Rose Bowl. Kyle, I am voting first, and I am voting for St. Andrews. I think the Rose Bowl is a great venue, but when you're literally talking about the birthplace of golf, I think you have to go St. Andrews. Do you go 2 for 2 and move it on, or do we go to the Twitter vote?
Look, I get it. Birthplace of golf. And there, when you see it, I've never been there, but when you see it on TV, it just looks like the place you're supposed to play golf. Those deep bunkers and all that good stuff. But you're talking about the granddaddy of them all in Pasadena. And I think it was last week you said it's got a parade. I'm going to make you go to the Twitterverse, and I'm going to say the Rose Bowl.
So we're tied at 1, Rose Bowl and St. Andrews. And it was close, Kyle. It was a close vote. Not the closest of our votes, but it was the second closest of these matchups. 57% of the vote, Kyle, to 42%.
Wait. Can we go with TJ's vote? He just came in.
TJ says Rose Bowl all the way. TJ.
Oh, did TJ just sway it?
TJ may have swayed it, but unfortunately he did not, because the Twitterverse voted St. Andrews 57%. So we are tied 2-2. We'll take TJ's vote. TJ's good to hear from you. So for all those listening and watching our show out there, the next person who votes in Rose Bowl or St. Andrews, you will move it on. And we'll kind of comb through these, the last matchup here, and we'll see if we get another vote. If not, we'll come back to it before the end of the show. So St. Andrews or Rose Bowl, if you're out there checking us out on the Off the Ball Network or on our Facebook page, go ahead and type a comment right now, Rose Bowl or St. Andrews, the right answer being St. Andrews. All right, Kyle, it's the big one here. Our last matchup, the 1 seed, maybe even considered the number 1 overall seed, Madison Square Garden, against the 3 seed, the name right of your firstborn, Wrigley Field.
Yep.
Kyle, I will vote first, and then we'll take it to the Twitter sphere, and then I'll let you vote third.
Oh, I get to – wait. That tells me where Twitter voted, because I know where you're going. Twitter got it right.
So, Kyle, this is a tough one. You know, I told you last week there are things that there are things that I like to see, not much more than you kind of squirming and being disappointed and all those great things. But when it came down to it, I mean, Wrigley Field's Wrigley Field, and I can acknowledge that. But the Mecca is the Mecca. And so I've got to go with Madison Square Garden, not because of necessarily the Knicks and because of the New York Rangers, but just because of everything that comes through that building is just fantastic. And so, and if you had, like, I think I even tweeted this last year, like, you know, we're SEC guys. I'm a Kentucky fan and Mississippi State fan. We usually support the SEC. If I could only watch one collegiate conference tournament a year, I would watch the Big East tournament. It's by far every single year. It is the best conference tournament. And where does it take place?
At the
Madison Square Garden. So I'll vote the Garden. Kyle, you already picked up on it. the Twitter vote 52 to 47%. It was a tight one. Wrigley Field gets the nod over Madison Square Garden. So, Kyle, I will let you break the tie. Do you send your beloved Cubs and their Wrigley Field made of ivy on, or does the Garden move on?
Well, I think I've already given it away. I don't feel like I'm building up much suspense here. But last week, I struggled to put Wrigley over Lambeau Field. I struggled. It was difficult for me. But I did it. And I did it because I got a 6-year-old boy upstairs named Wrigley. Did it for him. And if I can take away one of, if not the most storied fields in football, I can take away one of the most storied or greatest sports venue in the world in Madison Square Garden. Let's move Wrigley on to the Final Four. I told you they should have been a 1 seed, and you put them at a 3. Move Wrigley on. Final Four, baby. Go Cubs, go. I'm done.
Okay. I just wanted to give you your time. Just wanted to give you your time.
Right.
So Kyle, we have a conundrum.
I'm not getting in this one.
We had a conundrum. No, I think you're completely in this one. We have a conundrum with our Rose Bowl St. Andrews.
You said the first person to vote. There is a first person.
There is, but that first person is voting on behalf of someone else who we don't even know if that's accurate. We're trusting the word of one Donna Davis Castles to give us an accurate representation of whatever Daddy said. And so
I call him Pop.
So my question is here, Kyle. We have a vote from what is now your mother and your father for the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And then we have a vote from your wife.
Yes.
It's a family affair. This is St. Andrews.
Yes.
So I think it's only fair, Kyle, that in this situation, because it is a family affair now, is that you make the decision, Rose Bowl or St. Andrews. I will mute myself and I give you the floor.
I wish we had planned this out.
It's pretty good that we didn't need, and this is
actually how it turned out.
This is fantastic. I get to just sit back and watch the fireworks, knowing that either way it's going to go poorly for you.
Your words were the first vote got to count, and the first vote was my mother voting for the Rose Bowl. Therefore, I'm going to go with my mother because that was also my vote. And I'm doing that only because your rules were the first vote. So Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl. I'm sure that our legal representation could find a loophole, could go back and study the tape and hear exactly what I said and find a loophole there to figure out that is not necessarily accurate, and that you on my screen. We're creating some family drama in the Castles household, and I'm here for it. I like it.
The first one that popped up on our screen over here, right below TJ Burns saying no, was Kyle told me to vote, which I did. I told her go ahead and vote for us. That way we had a vote. Oh, I just got a text message. Hey, hang on.
Oh boy,
hang on.
There's a text message.
Oh, she actually sent me the screenshot. It says Kyle told me to vote above TJ Burns, probably St. Andrews, and then wrote, oh. It looks like these came in at the same time. I'm going to say we still have a tie.
We still have a tie. Okay. All right. So the Rose Bowl, even though I typed it in, is moving on, is not moving on. All right, we're going to keep it as a tie. And what we'll do is if we get one more vote over the course of the rest of the show, and I'll plug it a few times.
Now my mother has sent me a text. And
TJ
she is showing me that she sent in her vote before Lauren.
TJ says flip a coin. I love it, TJ. I tell you what, and look at here, Kyle, look what I have.
Oh, you got one. I started looking for one.
I've got a quarter right here. Okay, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, the suspense is killing me. We're going to flip a coin, and we will decide who's moving on between St. Andrews and the Rose Bowl in our bracket. Best venue in sports bracket. We'll be right back on Dad's Watching Sports. Coming up next week on Dad's Watching Sports. It's episode 72, and the dads are once again joined by Mark Gent of Simply a Fan, as Mark is going to help us break down the Final Four and ultimately pick a champion in our sports venues bracket. That's right. We crown a champion next week on Dad's Watching Sports. Welcome back to Dad's Watching Sports. I am Michael Draper. He's Kyle Castles, and he is in the hot seat. It's a family affair here on Dad's Watching Sports. We got mom, we got dad, we got wife, all voting, and we're still at a tie. And also TJ. We can't forget TJ. He's part of the family as well.
Right. TJ, you're invited to the barbecue.
That's right. TJ's a brother from a different mother. All right, so let's set the stage. Let's remind everybody what's at stake here. We've got 3 of our Final Four teams for our best venue in sports bracket. We've got Augusta National, Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium. We're trying to get the 4th. It's either, Kyle, going to be the Rose Bowl or it's going to be St. Andrews. We are at a dead heat tie, and TJ came up with a great idea to flip a coin. Let's see. We have another comment here. Oh, yep. Yes. Thanks, guys. TJ says thanks for the invite, Kyle. All right. So TJ came up with a great idea. We're going to flip a coin, Kyle, just so you see here is heads. It's a quarter. Here's tails. Let's see what the year on this quarter is. Doesn't even say anymore. I don't think so. No, I don't know. All right. So we have a quarter. Kyle, I will let you make the call. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do this. St. Andrews is heads.
Yes.
Rose Bowl is tails.
Yes.
I've never flipped a coin live on stream before, so I'm hoping that I can flip this and it'll land right here. There's a good chance that I'm going to have to pick it up off the floor or something else could go wrong. But I promise you, Kyle, I'm not a scout, but I'd give you like scout's honor that I will show the actual way it lands. So right. there will be no there'll be no dispute here. Okay, Kyle, let you count me down from 3.
3, 2, 1.
All right, Kyle.
What we get?
We said heads, St. Andrews, tails, Rose Bowl, correct?
That's what we said. It is heads. St. Andrews moves on.
St. Andrews moves on. Mom, Dad, we're sorry. But we did it fair and square. And St. Andrews moves on. So our Final Four, Kyle, we've got 2 3 seeds and 2 1 seeds. Yankee Stadium, St. Andrews, Wrigley Field, and Augusta National.
Yeah.
And I look forward to Mark Gent joining us next week to crown a champion. If I know Mark, we're going to have a Yankee Stadium Wrigley Field matchup because he's quite the baseball
guy. I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll put it maybe to Twitter as well. And thanks for everybody for participating in that. We will finally come to a conclusion of our best venue in sports bracket next week. Thanks for those of you checking us out and for everybody commenting on the show. We appreciate all the love. But if you are checking us out on our podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that rating or review button as well. We'd love for you to give us a 5-star rating. Tell us what we do great and those things that we do even better. We want you to do that if you're joining us via our podcast. Kyle, we are almost a week into the name, image, and likeness chaos that has taken over the college athletics. So you look at, there's been deals everywhere. Some really cool deals, some that are like, make you scratch your head a little bit. But what are some of the best endorsement deals, NIL deals that you've seen so far?
Well, I don't know. So show prep guys, I went and looked and saw like where some of these deals have been done. Mike and I have not talked about it, so I don't know what's on his list. But to me, the most noteworthy is Master P's son, and forgive me, I forget his name, but Master P's son, who is supposed to start playing basketball for Tennessee State as a freshman in the fall, has the most lucrative deal in all of college sports right now, a $2 million deal with some technology company. Good for him. Why they would spend $2 million on a Tennessee State basketball player that's a freshman that has, outside of being Master P's, the rapper Master P, right?
Hootie hoo.
No Limit Soldiers, right? Like, wasn't he for a minute in WCW, like right there at the tail end of the company's history? I think he was.
Probably. Wasn't everyone?
Right. I outside of that, I don't know why you would give this kid $2 million. I don't see it. Miles Brennan, quarterback for LSU. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback at LSU, but he's got to deal with Smoothie King. That feels like a big deal.
Pretty good deal, yeah.
Trey Knox, the kid out of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Not just him, but his dog are signed to PetSmart. So
it's pretty brilliant. That's pretty brilliant. Trey was on my list as well.
Yeah. And then to me, the coolest one, you have the quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes in De'Aaron King, and the presumptive quarterback for Florida State. And where was it? Central Florida, Mackenzie Milton was from?
Yep.
Before he transferred to Florida State, which usually that doesn't make any sense. That you would take a Florida State kid and transfer him to Central Florida, not the other way around. That tells you where Florida State is right now. But Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King have actually this is brilliant, right?
Absolutely.
They're not making money they're going to make money off themselves, but they're also going to make money off of everybody else's name, image, and likeness, because they're saying, if you come sign with our new company that we've started, we'll help you get the endorsements, and we'll just take some off the top. They have become agents while they're still players. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I love capitalism.
Yep. Yeah, I had that on my list too, and good for them too. I mean, I think it's very smart from a lucrative standpoint, but I think it's also really cool that they're doing that. And also 2 kids that transferred, like you mentioned, De'Aaron King was at Houston, now is at Miami. Mackenzie Milton, like you said, was at UCF. Remember, he was part of that undefeated season, ended up just obliterating his leg. And I hope that kid gets the starting nod at Florida State and has a really successful career.
I do too.
Those were 2 of my 3, but my other one was, and this has the potential, Kyle, to be the most lucrative deal when it's all said and done. So I don't know if are you a TikToker, Kyle?
Very sort of, but I don't do anything on the TikTok.
You dabble.
I dabble.
Okay. So apparently, Kyle, there's a set of twins that play basketball for Fresno State, females, and sounds like they've got like millions and millions of followers on TikTok.
Never.
And I haven't either, but that's where a lot of people are saying like female athletes are actually probably going to, from a financial standpoint, outpace their male counterparts in this whole deal, because so many female athletes have the Instagram followers and the TikTok followers and whatever other crazy.
Well, you say that there's also a college softball player, and forgive me, I forget where she plays, but she had a video, and she pops up occasionally on my thing because she had a video talking about college softball catchers, and my sister was a college softball catcher. So I sent that video to my sister, and because of the algorithm that TikTok uses now, her videos get mixed in sometimes. And it's all about, they're like funny softball videos. But if I remember right, she's got, a couple million followers. So yeah, send that girl, whatever that girl's name is, send her some money.
Well, and so these 2 twins, the Cavender twins, signed some deals like right off the bat. I think one was with Verizon, and there was some other deal that they got with the company where they get 80 cents a follower.
Oh, wow.
And it as of right now, with all their deals combined, it's about $3 million. So good for them. Absolutely, man. That's the thing. We were talking about this with our family over the weekend, and like there are going to be those situations where kids, they make some money and they make some poor choices, but so does somebody that goes down the street and does any other job. We made poor choices. So I mean, it's you can't let those kids not be able to earn money off their own backs just because the potential is there that they might make some poor choices because of their newfound wealth.
And you know what this opens the door for. I mean, like they've already said it's coming back, but like this is what we've been waiting on since 2013. College football video games are coming back. College basketball video games will come back. Heck, maybe we'll even see a return of the college baseball video game that I think had like a 2-year run.
Yeah. Oh, I think we definitely will. The one thing that, and we don't have really time to get into this, but the one thing that I will say will be that we kind of dabbled in this discussion a little bit this weekend that will be really interesting to see how this plays out is how does this impact high school kids?
So they,
for the longest time, you could not accept any kind of benefits because you would lose eligibility. And now, especially with the shoe companies and major sports, like it's about to get crazy. And there are going to be 17, 18-year-old kids that are still in high school that are already either signed up or, there's going to be some money being made across.
Well, look, there is a junior in high school, right? Yeah, there's a junior in high school right now down in New Orleans. Isadora Newman named Arch Manning playing quarterback for that school. If you know anything about the Manning family, you know who he is.
Right.
You think that kid isn't already getting lined up by companies going the minute he graduates, we're on the phone with him? Because, I mean, he is the most talked about high school junior. And he's not even, from what I've seen, not even the number one ranked kid based on ESPN or 24/7, not even the number one great kid in his class, but because his last name is Manning, and he's got 2 uncles that have won 2 Super Bowls apiece, that kid's going to make a ton of money before he ever hits the pros.
Yep. That he is. And then he's, from what I hear, he's going to probably come down to the blue and white and end up on the Wildcats is just kind of what I'm hearing.
Oh, is that what you're hearing?
TJ jumped in, and I didn't see this real quick. Off topic, did Kyle Field make your bracket? It did not, TJ. There was only a handful of college football stadiums that did. So we had Death Valley, the Big House, Notre Dame, Bryant Denny, and Happy Valley, I think, and maybe the Horseshoe. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think the Horseshoe made it.
So Kyle Field did not. I've been to Kyle Field. Excellent venue, excellent atmosphere. Did not, though, quite make our bracket, but gig 'em for sure. All right, Kyle, now is the time of the show where I will let you enjoy the spoils, Kyle. Your Mississippi State Bulldogs, for the first time ever, winning a team national championship, won it in the College World Series, and it wasn't even close. Yes, Vanderbilt took out game 1, and then the second 2 games, the last 2 games, Mississippi State just absolutely dominated in every aspect of the game, hitting, pitching, fielding. I mean, all the errors that Vandy had. They got to Kumar Rocker early and knocked him out pretty early, and then it was really all over. So congratulations, sir, on a national championship for the city of Starkville, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and all of Bulldog Nation.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's huge for the school. Obviously, it brings good attention to the school. Hopefully, they can turn that into and maybe this is the teacher in me. I don't know, but hopefully they can turn that attention to other things beyond just the baseball team or just athletics. There's a lot of good stuff going on in Starkville that deserves some notoriety. So it's great for the school. It's great for the fan base. I was talking to my wife during the semifinal game with who did we play to get there?
Texas,
thank you. Talking with her, and that game did not look good. That was another one of those come from behind games. And she was like, it's not over. I said, no, you don't understand. Like, you have not been around long enough to be a Mississippi State fan to understand that, like, we just don't win these games. Like, we look good, things look good, but it's not gonna happen, right? Then we win that one, and we go into game 1 against Al Leiter's son, and we get beat pretty good. And I said, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, we got here in 2013, and Virginia beat us in 2 straight games. Like, that's what we're about to see. And she's like, no, it's a best of 3. Like, you got a chance. You can win back to back. I was like, just stop. It's not going to happen. This is Mississippi State. This is what we do. We can come close, right? We can get to the final series in the College World Series and lose. We can get to the championship game in the women's basketball championship and lose. We can have the number 1 team in the nation in football for 6, 7, 8 weeks, but it's not going to turn out well for us. And it's funny, I actually said that to some other Mississippi State fans, and they were all like, yeah, that's exactly how we feel. And when you have a fan base that really thinks like that, it's like, hey, it's great. Like, we're there, we're close, that's good enough. Like, we're happy with this, but we don't expect to actually win it all. That's the way a lot of the Mississippi State fan base feels. But that group of boys, and I'll call them boys because they're young. I mean, they're no more than 21 years old. They're a bunch of kids still. And I never thought I'd say that about some college kids, but they're a bunch of kids. You can tell I'm getting old. They didn't believe that, man. Rowdy Jordan, Tanner Allen, they're going to go down as absolute Mississippi State legends. They're going to be mentioned. I mean, that tandem or that duo. There's only one other duo in Mississippi State baseball history, and that's Thunder and Lightning. That's Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark, both of which I believe are in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Rafael should probably be in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. They're not going to put him in because of the steroid issue, and I get it, but I think it's time to just put the steroid era guys in. They deserve it. Anybody on top during that time period, you just assume was on steroids.
Right.
We get it. It's the steroid era. Call it that, and move on and put the best players of that era in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But Rafael Palmeiro with 500 home runs should definitely be in there. Tanner Allen and Rowdy Jordan will be mentioned like Rafael and Will Clark. So that's a big deal. I mean, you're talking the first national championship in school history, first team national championship in school history. And like I said, we've been close. I mean, our girls before Vic Schaefer left and went to Texas, beat UConn in the Final Four to get to the national title game. And I forget if they played Baylor, I think, but I could be wrong.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. You're right. Got beat there. We've been close. We played Virginia in the 2013 College World Series Championship Series with what I thought was a better team than we had this year. But this one put it together. It was the only time we've seen a team work their way through Omaha without committing a single error.
Very impressive.
That right there. And I was sitting there talking to Lauren during that third game, that game 3, and telling her, like, I wish the announcers would shut up about the whole, like, look at the stark difference in the way Mississippi State's playing defense and Vanderbilt's playing defense, because all they're doing is they're jinxing Mississippi State. We're going to have a big error at the very wrong time. And speaking of jinxing,
dude, yes. You. So we're texting back and forth between game 3. Mississippi State's got this thing in the bag.
No. You were texting me like
got it
5th inning. You can't.
It was already. It was like 5 or 6 to nothing, and
it doesn't matter.
They had knocked Rocker out of the game. It was over.
6-0.
Vandy had nothing. And you were like, "Stop texting me, stop jinxing it." I was like, "Man, there's no way that you are."
I even had my wife text you and tell
you
to stop texting me.
I did, and I didn't stop. No, because I knew that they were going to win. All right, so 2 questions I got here for you to finish up the show.
All right,
is this the biggest win in Mississippi State sports history?
Oh, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, like pick another one. I can't.
Right.
So yeah, like biggest win ever.
So a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned to me that you were thinking about getting a tattoo.
Yes. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming.
are you now thinking 2 tattoos, Kyle? And are you getting like your original idea on one arm and a Mississippi State National Championship tattoo on the other? Because I could foresee, Kyle, a Dad's Watching Sports remote show live from the tattoo parlor as you are getting your Mississippi State National Championship. And look, Kyle, I've even got a picture for you already drawn up of what. Let's see this National Championship tattoo. Oh, wait.
Oh,
is that's not the right team? That's somebody else got that tattoo. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
That's not good.
Sorry about that. That said Ole Miss baseball national.
Wow.
Oh man. Sorry about that.
That got awkward. That got awkward.
I did. I hate that for such a great fan base. So Kyle, two tattoos, right?
It's funny you say that. I actually had an idea for a second one, and boss lady was like, I said okay to 1 tattoo, not 2 tattoos. So we'll see how that happens.
Right.
But definitely getting 1.
Okay. Well, we'll queue up the live remote show for the Mississippi State National Championship Tattoo Edition featuring Kyle Castles. Look forward to it. All right, Kyle, we are out of time, sir. Fun as always. We'll be back next week. Again, Mark Gent is going to join us, and we are going to go through the Final Four, pick a national champion in our best venue in sports bracket. We look forward to it. Hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody, for participating. Thanks for everybody chiming in, especially the Castles family. Thank you guys, as always, for chiming in throughout the show. We'll see you next week.
TJ Burns. Thank you, TJ Burns. I'm not going to forget you, buddy.
There we go. See you next week on Dad's Watching Sports.